Well, hey everybody, this is Chris DeFirio with Keys to the Shop. I hope you're doing well and welcome to another edition of Shift Break. So, today's episode is brought to you by our friends at La Marzocco espresso machines that you can count on. They are beautiful, they are dependable, they are innovative. The straight in locking portafilter system on the KB90, as an example, scales in the drip trays, the different espresso machines. They have like the Leva espresso machine that allows you to use a manual lever to pull a shot of espresso. Classic Linea PB. You can get an array of different configurations and sizes and capacities of espresso machines that fit your style of doing business in your coffee shop. You want something that's very technologically advanced and want to make sure that it's going to be reliable instead of just experimental. La Marzocco is the company that makes sure that you can rely on them to be there so that you can serve your guests without fear of needless interruption. La Marzocco has been doing this for almost 100 years now. So 1927 is when they started making espresso machines by hand in Florence, Italy, and they still do this today. So I would invite you to check out their website, lamarzocousa.com. No matter where you are in the world, go to figure out where you can get a La Marzocco espresso machine or find a rep and email them, have a conversation and let them walk you through the different options. And, you're going to be really happy with the machine. I grew up with these machines and I feel they have just continued to be the standard for quality in the industry. So lamarzocousa.com. Now, today's episode is also brought to you by rattleware.com. So smallwares need to just work because we don't want a coffee bar where we're focused more on the fact that we've got a shot glass you can't count on, or a whisk or a pitcher or something like that. Those are irritating. That's irritating when that happens, right? And that is something that Rattleware agrees. It's irritating. We want to be, this is what they're saying with their company. We want to be the place that gives you something that you can put it in place, count on it, don't focus on it. We're in the background helping you shine in your business. So go to rattleware.com, look up all of the different items they produce. And when you're going to make that list of smallwares for your business, let's get Rattleware on that list. So again, rattleware.com. Now, today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the world of why you do what you do. Now, there is an innumerable number of reasons why somebody listening to this does what they are engaged with. For some of you, this is a lifelong calling. Now, if you're opening a coffee shop, it doesn't have to be a lifelong calling. You can sell the business, you can close, you can open it for a period of time, and it can go away. The point is not to have it open perpetually, although it is that you want to open as long as you want to open, not have to close it because it's not working. That's why Keys to the Shop exists, is because we don't want these needless interruptions. So what is the full life cycle of this seed of an idea that you have for a coffee shop, and how can we make this and walk alongside you and help you make this very successful, even if it's a 10-year company, 5-year company, whatever that is. It is okay, because that is, the industry is made up of an aggregate of long-term and short-term operations. What we don't like to see is when people burn out with dejection. We don't like to see when places have to close because of mistakes and things that were avoidable. These are the things we don't like to see. But there's no rule that says unless your coffee shop is open for 100 years, somehow you did something wrong. But one of the things that we tend to forget about, and I bring this up because it was brought up in one of our key holder coaching group meetings. You probably, like one of our members, have this feeling of, we're busy doing the work, and why? Why am I doing it? What is the motivation to get up out of bed when I've got a family, I've got a bunch of people depending on me outside of the business, whether it's your family or your a close-knit group of people that aren't technically in the coffee shop? Our life tends to be altered in major ways, especially when you are the point person for the entire business. And this can be felt by people who have a lot of responsibility, and maybe they're not necessarily the owner of the business. But this episode today is really about how to make sure that you are taking care of yourself and your motivation. And I'm going to use a biblical metaphor here, or example. And this is in the Proverbs, the wisdom book of the Bible. The Proverbs talk about how the hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. So whether you are, into the Bible or not is not the point. The point is that this is something that I think is pretty important for everybody listening. Hope deferred, in other words, the why, or the thing that you're really hoping for, if it's perpetually out of your grasp, it makes the heart sick, that longing unfulfilled. But if there's a longing fulfilled, that actually brings life to your body, to your mind, to the spirit behind what you do. And so with a coffee shop, let's bring this to a coffee shop. Let's say you've been doing this work for a little bit. I'm going to just go out on a limb, and it's not really much of a limb, that you've already made a difference. But because you're so busy, you are needlessly deferring the hope that you have available to you, that is the fulfillment of what you've decided to do. So helping somebody have a really great day because of the coffee you serve them. It's a tiny thing. It happens a lot. We're busy with all of the thoughts of finances and tariffs and our own issues that we're dealing with outside of work, and then the work issues. It's really difficult for us to enter into the business deep enough to step back and consider that maybe, and it's not, it's probably, definitely, you've already made a difference in such a way that if you would just go to that evidence and eat from that tree and say the tree of life, right? This is the tree of life, right? The longing fulfilled is a tree of life. So you go and find those 5-star Yelp reviews. You go and look at the positive difference you've made. And you need to go back to those things to energize you. Not, some people like to avoid looking at their successes, looking at their good things that they've accomplished, because it makes them feel like, oh, I don't want to be braggy. I don't want to focus on that because I'm motivated more by what's wrong than what's right. Well, this is not sustainable. I will say, I don't think that's sustainable, because that leads to burnout. If you refuse to enter into the life-giving nature of reflecting on and letting the evidence of your success feed your soul as an operator, then what will? Surely problems won't feed your soul. That just pushes you down and down and down and down. You have to be disciplined, just like eating daily, right? It gives you energy. What are you eating daily? What kind of a diet do you have of input? The business has a good way of showing you this urgent thing and that urgent thing, and everybody wants something from you. But I think you're going to need to discipline yourself to take a step back and say, okay, what do I need to sustain myself? Go read the good reviews people say about you. Don't worry about this idea that by reading those things, it's avoiding problems. No, you could, if it makes you feel better, by doing that, you can say, I want to honor and create more of these things. Oh, I'm so happy that we've done this. My longing to create community or serve great coffee and, do whatever, this has been fulfilled. It's fulfilled, but it's not demotivating. It's not taking away my why to see it fulfilled. It's actually adding to it. It's now become, hey, we're actually doing what we set out to do. Let's keep going. Let's work with the momentum that we're building. Let's not ignore the success and only focus on what we need to improve and never look fully in the face of something encouraging and affirmational and touching to your heart. This is a form of self-care, but it's also a form of care for your business. And it's a form of care for your people, the people that work with you, your team. Because if you're not working to identify and draw joy and life from the stuff that you're doing well, then how can others do the same? The lack of that in you is going to lead to the lack of that in them as well. So it is important for us to go and see, what is that tree of life for you? Go and look at those 5-star reviews. Remember stories of people who gave you a compliment. And if you're like me, where you have a hard time accepting a compliment and you immediately jump to this idea of, yeah, well, you don't know 100% of what's going on behind it. Well, thank you. It's really nice of you to say that. Like, we credit them with being nice, but we credit ourselves with nothing. We can't do that. Receive and learn in humility. Maybe it's just humility. Learn in humility to receive that perhaps you've done something well, and it's okay. And that will bring life to you. So when you get up in the morning and you say, what is my motivation here? A lot of the times the energy can come from the thing that you've disciplined yourself to examine. And it's proof that what you're doing is not without merit, not without cause or impact. You're making a difference. It's just you need to seek that out, because the nature of life is to keep us busy, keep us moving forward. But we need to see, how far have we come? Let's look back. That's why some of these Founder Friday episodes are so interesting, especially after the interviews. A lot of people tell me, that's the first time that we've actually sat down and rehearsed what's happened in our business in detail ever. And it makes us feel really good. And when you feel that way, when you're at ease, boy, you're going to make better decisions about your business, maybe not as desperate ones. And that sense of balance between aspiration and fixing things that might be askew, and accepting that you've done well and that you've accomplished great things at the same time, that leads to some great decisions about the way you respond to challenges, the way that you care for people, based on the way you care for yourself. Okay. So I just wanted to encourage you with that. What is that for you? Go in there and, sustain yourself. Don't withhold out of some misguided sense of like a noble cause of which you're just going to deprive yourself. It's not heroism. That's not being a hero or anything. That is dangerous stuff. And we don't like to see burnout. We like to see people burn bright. We want to see the passion. We want to see that sustained. And we want to see that be something that offers life to other people. But you can't give that if you don't have that. And so I just wanted to encourage you today. Do that. Be disciplined about it. And I think you'll see the fruit from that actually is pretty fulfilling. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you're doing well, and I'm grateful for all of you listening to this show. We'll see you here next week on another edition of Shift Break, from Keys to the Shop.